Hello guys, we are going to talk a horror film called Pandemonium from 2024. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. The movie begins with Nathan waking up after a car accident, and he is happy to have survived the accident. Next to him is Daniel, the motorcyclist whose collision caused the accident. Daniel also survived, although it looks very strange, and it seems that he was just lucky. However, Daniel is not so optimistic. He says that they both lost control and died in the collision. Nathan doesn't believe him, but goes to the car and finds his own corpse in the driver's seat. The harsh reality upsets the man, because he cannot believe that he died in the prime of his life. Daniel, resigned to his fate, accepts the existence of the afterlife with a certain satisfaction. Nathan throws a tantrum, not wanting to accept his death. He believes that a doctor is now working on his body, and what he sees is a side effect of anesthesia. Daniel takes Nathan's bloody body out of the car to help him accept the sad facts. Instead, Nathan wonders how Daniel, being a ghost, was able to get the body out of the car. His thoughts are interrupted by the appearance of another car. The driver doesn't see the men, but notices the corpse on the road. Instead of calling the paramedics, he searches the body and then drives away. Accepting the new reality, Nathan worries that heaven and hell also exist, which means that he will be judged, in particular for the sin of murder. He is involved in the death of his wife, although he clarifies that he did not kill her. In addition, he does not hear the music that Daniel hears. When the snow covered the highway, a door of ice appeared next to the men, and it was from that door that the music was coming. Daniel wants to go through this door, but Nathan notices another gate across the highway, a gloomy, double-leafed one. When they appear, Nathan also hears sounds, but these are different sounds than his fellow prisoner heard. They were screams of pain. Nathan doesn't want to go through the horrible gate and screams as he looks up at the sky. He regrets that he killed his wife for a reason, but out of compassion, to save her from the torment of her illness. After hugging each other goodbye, the new dead leave. Daniel walks through his door, but only stops hearing the music. A girl appears next to the men and asks Daniel if he hit her on his motorcycle. He is surprised, as he had seen the girl on the roadside shortly before the accident, but drove by. Daniel, feeling guilty, offers the girl to go with him through the white door, but she does not trust strangers and starts screaming. Unable to stand it, Daniel grabs the girl and pushes her through the door, which makes her disappear. Then the door itself disappears, leaving the men in a desperate situation. Stopping in front of a gloomy gate, Daniel says that he would like to be dragged in by force. Nathan helps him take the decisive step, and then shouts at the sky again that he has only helped his wife realize what she was thinking about in her depression. The sky responds with silence. When Nathan refuses to go through the gate, a terrifying monster appears out of the smoke. Nathan jumps through the gate in fear and finds himself in a gloomy desert. Bodies lie on the cracked ground. He bends over one of them. It's a little girl named Jeanne, and the story switches to her life before she went to hell. Jeanne is lying in bed, listening to her parents fighting on the ground floor. They are arguing over her. Her mother accuses her father of not caring enough about her daughter and of being afraid of her. Jeanne goes downstairs to make herself some sandwiches with jam. The story switches to her conversations with the doctor. The girl talks about how she strangled birds and poked her younger sister, whom she hates, with a pencil. The girl's symptoms are bordering on manic violence. Jeanne admits that she does this to hurt her parents. The next morning after the quarrel, the girl stands in blood over the bodies of her parents with a knife in her hands. After that, Jeanne makes sandwiches and goes down to the basement where a disfigured man named Tony lives. She accuses him of killing her parents, but doesn't worry too much about it. Jeanne allows him to go upstairs, even though he claims that he had nothing to do with the murders. The girl takes Tony to the bathroom to wash and change his clothes, and then orders him to remove the bodies of his parents. They take the corpses to the stage of the home theater, where Jeanne is performing a play for her dead parents. She hears the voices of invisible spectators and their applause. Jeanne brings Tony on stage, who says he doesn't remember anything about his life before he met her. The play ends with Tony's fake execution by hanging. In his last words, he says again that he is innocent. When Jeanne is making herself beautiful in the mirror, Tony approaches her and notices that he does not reflect in the mirror, which is logical for a fictional friend. During lunch, they discuss what to do next. Someone rings the doorbell. The man has brought a parcel and asks to call one of the adults to sign for it. Jeanne calls Tony, but he does not show up. Leaving the business card, the man walks away. Jeanne rushes in search of the imaginary monster, but does not find it. Searching the entire house, she finds it in her parents' bedroom, where it is devouring a corpse. Jeanne goes to her younger sister Claire, who tells her that Tony killed her parents and now wants to kill her. The sister asks for some time to finish the drawing, but Jeanne refuses. She takes Claire to the kitchen, where she shoves her into the oven and turns on the stove, ignoring the banging from inside. Singing a song, Jeanne walks away cheerfully. Nathan wakes up in hell next to Jeanne's body, barely able to contain his disgust. He crawls to the next sinner. Next to Nathan is a woman named Julia. Her story begins in the kitchen, where she is pouring tea, barely holding back tears. Sitting at the table, Julia sees a bloody stain on the table and tries to wipe it off. She calls to her daughter Chloe to hurry up because they have to leave. However, Chloe does not answer, forcing her mother to go to her room and the bathroom herself. In the bathroom, it turns out that the girl is dead. She is lying unconscious in the bathtub. Although Julia already knew this, she refused to believe what had happened. Pulling her daughter's body out of the bathtub, Julia drags it across the cold floor, sits it down at the table and brings Chloe breakfast, continuing to talk to her and make plans as if nothing had happened. The story goes back to the moment of the incident. Her mother was completely absorbed in her work, and Chloe was being bullied by her classmates at her new school, mocking her and taking pictures of it on her phone. Sitting at the dinner table, Chloe cuts her finger and leaves a bloody mark on the surface. She confesses to her mother that she doesn't want to go to school because she doesn't feel good there, but Julia convinces her that it's a temporary difficulty that will soon pass. Julia decides to go to the coast with her dead daughter as if nothing had happened. But behind the front door, she sees a brick wall, a metaphor for the dead end she's in. Chloe's memories come back, school bullies bullying her in the restroom, forcing her to kiss their feet. When Julia returns home, she finds her neighbor Emma, who is worried about Chloe. Upon entering the house, Emma sees that the girl is dead and looks at Julia in horror. In the next scene, Chloe is in a state of clinical death. Her mother continues to talk to her, drowning out her emotional pain and crying without receiving an answer. Julia finally closes her daughter's glassy eyes and then drives the car straight into a pole, ending her own life as well. Arriving at the scene, the rescuers pull the wounded but still alive Julia out of the car. Nathan, having penetrated her feelings, carefully covers the faces of mother and daughter with a cloth. Then a horned devil approaches him and offers to accompany him to his personal eternal torment. As Nathan rises, he wonders where justice is, since he killed his wife, who suffered from multiple sclerosis. He did it out of compassion to ease her suffering. The devil says that no one will listen to Nathan, and he is doomed to eternal torment. The local takes him to the door that leads to the first circle of hell, where he will be all alone until the memory of his physical body is completely erased. After passing through the door, Nathan finds himself in a room with red lamps, where he will have to spend 4,000 years in quarantine. As the devil walks through the wall, Nathan notices movement in the opposite corner. There lies a rag-covered executioner named Billy. For him, every sinner is a toy that he plays with until it breaks, including banging their heads against the wall. Nathan, choking on his own blood, realizes that this horror will last forever. But when the executioner beats him to death, the voice of the devil tells Billy that they are losing their souls because of him. Meanwhile, the surgeons perform a C-section, and a baby with Nathan's soul is born. However, it is not just a child, it is the Antichrist. Although no one is allowed to escape from hell, the newborn grows up unaware that Billy the executioner has already tracked him down and is ready to return the sinner back to hell.